Alright, so I theorize that in Batman and Robin, Batman is the villain. And starting with this scene here and this part here, so the one with Batman and then this one, leads to this next scene here. Leads into this scene here. So this is where Batman and Robin are walking down the stairs, obviously, after the previous scene. So what happened between that scene and this scene is that um, those two have grown to not like each other, and uh, she is convinced Mr. Freeze to work with her to take out Batman because she says Batman killed Mr. Freeze's wife, right? So, the thing about Batman is one of his key traits is that he, I guess, by some or most, I'm one of them, that understand that, like I said, one of his key strengths is that he is a master of criminal psychology. You know, to really understand how that works. Um, so keeping that in mind, it was sort of at this point that Batman realized from that previous scene where she blew that pollen dust in her face. It's where Batman realized that if two good guys kill each other, that's very important. But if two if a good guy kills a bad guy, then it may or may not be as important, but definitely not, or it may or may not register, but it'll definitely be not as important as if Batman killed Robin. So at this point, they're going to come down to the stairs, and then Robin's going to declare his independence and take off and go solo. So that's where Batman's like, all right, good, go. So with him out of the way, he knew that if he couldn't have Poison Ivy, then no one could. So, like I said, letting Robin leave was a good thing. You know, it obviously he had to kill him. That allowed him to focus on Bane and Mr. Freeze. So, once again, to point out though that Batman is more or less a master of criminal psychology. So keep that in mind. And so, like I said, I'm going to fast forward to the next scene that's going to show my point about how it comes together. Give me just a second. So here's the scene that, to me, ties it all together to prove that Batman is the villain. So in the beginning that we saw, she put a spell, or whatever you want to call it, on Batman and Robin to get them to fawn over her. And so we never really saw it cleansed or cured, so we can only technically still assume that they're still under the spell. So going back to the scene where they're coming down the stairs, that's where Batman realized, if I can't have her, no one can. So he let Robin go solo, and then takes out Bane, which really isn't important, and then takes out Mr. Freeze right here in this bit. And now, mind you, this whole time up to this last scene, Mr. Freeze was working with her under the illusion that Batman killed his wife. So he was trying to kill 8 million people, all of New York City, just to get at one person, Batman. Now, Batman, again, remember as I mentioned, is a master of criminal art psychology. Shows this man that the whole time he's been working with the woman that actually killed his wife. And then you cut to this next scene. So now she's in jail, or Arkham Asylum, right? So, like I said, as I mentioned earlier, two heroes killing each other is very alarming. But if a hero kills a villain, it may or may not register. But if a villain kills a villain, no one's probably ever going to know about it. So here she is. Don't forget the video that he showed him after Batman defeated Mr. Freeze. He showed him the video that she killed his wife and that she manipulated him to take 8 million people hostage and even willing to kill them in order to get to one man for her gain. So he was used as a puppet. Batman puts her with him, and notice in full armor, mind you, in the same cell together. And what do you think happened? What do you think happened? You just found out you were working with the enemy. That's right. You guessed it. He probably freaking murdered her because there's no follow-up film, there's no conclusion. To me, it's leading you to presume or assume or even accept this fact that he kills her. I mean, he has absolute reason at that point, I think, in my opinion. But Schumacher made Batman the villain, and that is my proof. Thanks.